All right, so working on the self-portrait. I got some really fabulous ideas from a couple local artists. Parmalee Cover, who's actually been around a while. She's, I think 82. She came as a guest artist this year in the beginning of the year, and fabulous work, and came to pick up some of the work from a show earlier, and awesome questions and feedback. So I have new inspiration to work on this again. The lotus here, I started it from memory. You know, these original marks here is much smaller. Now I'm coming back to a reference I printed out I think it was last spring for some other demo or drawing. But I'm going to develop this more, and then I did a photo shoot with some specific light source from underneath so that the lotus will be illuminating the portrait. And that's kind of where that is. And I'm just using what I had on my palette here to block in the shape. So it's going to look in the end like a white lotus. The purple and blues are just part of the shadows. I've worked on this portrait in at least three different locations in the classroom studio here, and one in my art studio at home as well. So different light sources have made it tricky to actually capture a likeness and see where the light and shadows are. So now with the photos that I took, I'm excited to shift up the light and shadow and actually create the luminous sort of feel from the lotus outward. Sure I'm not covering up what I'm doing with the reference here. Symmetrical. After this lotus is coming from behind here up this angle. So here again, I'm looking at the negative shapes as much as the actual positive shapes of the petals, and I'm comparing everything to its surrounding petal friends. So how high is this in comparison to that? I'm noticing this is too high. And subtle shifts here and there, I'm fine with. It doesn't have to look identical to this. That's not important to me in this particular composition. And again, this is Lily Weck's album. She's a student who graduated from BSAA last year in 2018. And she did this album as her senior project, and I really love it. Well, I have it on my Spotify account. If you like it, you could look it up as well. This petal is here. And this one's here. This one behind here is a little bit darker. Need to get more paint on the brush so it's not so dry brushy, but crisp edge instead. I'm a crisp edge. In my advanced art class right now, we're working on painting and symbolism, but they got to pick whatever were doing paint. They could pick whatever paint media they wanted, oil, acrylic, watercolor, but they got to pick their own subject matter. A few of them are doing portraits, some are doing more of a landscape. But this project, personal project I'm working on, kind of fits within that criteria too. I always like to have a painting or multiple creative projects going on that I can bring into the art studio for the students to see me working. I think I'm an artist first, and then I like to think of myself as an art coach versus an art teacher, but I know I am an art teacher, but I like the idea of inspiring kids to come to their own excitements with art making and creativity, and whatever ideas they have, I want to give them fuel for their own internal fire of creativity, instead of coming up with a project where everybody does exactly the same thing, and some of them want to recycle it in the end because they just really don't like it. So kind of been more researching and trying to bring in teaching artistic behavior philosophy into my art teaching. And I'm actually teaching along with my librarian here, Angela. We're collaborating, and we're going to teach a healing through art. Not just healing, but it's like decompressing, grounding through art making, and then reflective journaling. So it's a four class cycle that will be free here at VSAA for other teachers in the district and our own teachers and other people that want to join. Kind of like that idea of using art as a healing, processing, life, grounding practice, and being able to inspire others to do the same. No grading involved with that. Just showing some techniques and then letting people explore. It's really what I'm excited about these days. I don't like how full this is. Oh, I think I need to add this part. Actually comes out like this. And really, it's Friday afternoon. I want to get home, but I started this the last period of the day, working on this part of the painting, and I just have the colors mixed, and I just wanted to add just a little bit more. I know how my students feel now. It's time to clean up. Oh, really? No, we don't want to. Because, earlier in pottery today, it's time to clean up. And time came up and said how time doesn't really exist, it's just a construct we agree to. Had some students agreeing with me. It's true. Really tricky to embrace that and live that idea within a school system that's run on classes starting at a particular time, grading periods, things are due at a certain time, semesters end, finals happen. Time is such a huge part of everything in the school system. Luckily at our school, though, we don't have any bells. I love it. Just pay attention. And we don't really need it. We don't need bells ringing and dinging and disrupting. I'm not sure how I feel about this. It's Process its process. Can't judge it too much. Well, continually being reflective is good. What's working, what's not working. But without despairing. It's a shadow, too much blue. Too much blue. I don't know. Maybe more blue in some other places. Maybe. This one needs to be taller. All right, 10 minutes. That's all I was gonna do. I kind of feel like the whole lotus is way too big now. Let's see. I don't know. Maybe I should be holding it. Hands. Yeah, hands holding the lotus. I don't know. What do you think? Thanks for watching. Until next time.